Blugoblin here on my BlugoblinX channel, and I'm here for another back issue review. And after this, I am pretty much caught up. Got a lot to catch up on. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, there we go. Still trying out new things with my new camera here, but this will be the newest back issue review. And now I'm officially caught up. I'm going to get caught up on a lot of books in here, not just from Marvel and DC, but from Dynamite and Valiant as well. We're going to start with Marvel. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order and just run right through them. Alright. First off, we're going to The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 700.4. Casey and Green. Oh, hell, I done forgot their names, so let me pull this out of the bag. Should have rehearsed this, but I don't. Let's see. Joe Casey and Timothy Green. Joe Casey does the writing. Timothy Green does the artwork. This is the second part. The main story is the second part of Peter being in the hospital for criminals. And unfortunately, yeah, you saw, if you've been reading this particular run of Spider-Man stories, you would have guessed by now, he gets discovered, he gets busted, he gets found out, and all the criminals go after him. And it's amazing to see Peter still put up a decent fight when he's all bandaged up and bruised up and burnt up and everything like that. It's almost as if he's pulling a Hulk Hogan or an Ultimate Warrior. He's all of a sudden he's no selling. You know, it just seems a little weird to see Peter still able to kick a lot of ass when he's all banged up and everything. Just almost completely no selling the pain. I guess quipping and no selling means you can ignore the pain, but it's still there. But it's a damn good story. I think it was a fitting conclusion to this two-parter. I thought it ended really nicely. The criminals are down, but they're not out. They'll find a new place to preserve their duties as doctors for these criminals and everything. It was your standard, you know, Spidey has his back against the wall kind of story, and I thought it went pretty well. The artwork was good. It was dark where it needed to be. The writing was good. The dialogue was really good. I actually dug it. The second story in the book, however, not so much. I'm not even going to go into great detail, you know, who did it or whatever. All I'm going to say is I didn't really go for it. The second story involves a kid who's getting bullied, and he lies about being Spider-Man's friend, and it leads to that cliche, the liar exposed, and it leads to that cliche, you know, stand up for yourself and all that crap. I mean, the second story was cute because they were trying to be cheeseball. I guess Marvel was seeing what DC was doing with Batman 66, bringing back cheeseballness, bringing back corny, because corny is now retro and it's cool again, so let's do it. And for Marvel, with Spider-Man, it doesn't work. Not like this. It was so corny to me. To me, it was so corny, I was almost expecting somebody to whip out a Hostess fruit pie and sell the product at the end of the story. It was that cheesy. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't god-awful, but man, I couldn't get into it. I didn't really care for it. It was what it was. But the story with Peter in the hospital and everything, that was really good stuff. I dug that issue. Alright. Let me go ahead and open this up so I can give proper props here. Let me set that aside here, because we're going along to The Amazing Spider-Man 700.5. I'm digging that cover. It's always, for me, I'm a sucker for romance. You know, maybe it's because I'm in a relationship myself. I like superhero romances. And I'll never get tired of seeing Peter and MJ together, even if it's just a tease on the cover. But this is Brian Reed doing the writing, which Brian Reed I think is a bit underrated as a writer, because he does write Spider-Man very well. And you got Sean Chen doing the penciling, because I got to give props to Mr. Chen, Sean Chen. Wow, this artwork is really, really good. This is really good, especially seeing, you know, old Pete and Johnny Storm back together again for another rendezvous. I mean, this was really good. This is a complete flip-flop of the last issue. The first story is meant to be a little cheesy yet humorous, while the second story is meant to be heavily dramatic. And in here, it works. It's Spidey and the Fantastic Four. How can you go wrong with that? How can you? You can't. Unless you get a really shitty writer. But the first story deals with a certain member of the Fantastic Four from the future coming back to the past and warning Spidey and the rest of the Fantastic Four, hey, something's going to happen that could change the entire course of the universe. As a matter of fact, it could destroy the universe. And of course, everybody's in a panic. The Fantastic Four is in a panic. Spidey's in a panic. Not to mention he hasn't been getting much sleep. So what do? They all go to MJ's apartment and try to figure this out. But at the end, we find out that that certain member from the future came to the past just to fuck with everybody. You know, just, gotcha. And even Pete's like, oh my God. You know, it's just, it was great. Great dramatic build-up to this possible monumental moment. And in the end, gotcha. It was great. It was great. I loved it. It was funny. This is cheeseball humor done right. It was so, so good. This is why, you know, this is why I think Brian Reed should write a Spider-Man series. I think if not Mark Waid or Christos Gage, hell, let Brian Reed have a run with Spider-Man once Dan Slott is done. I think he's a great writer. Not everything he writes has been solid, but this was really good. And the second story concerning Peter dealing with the grief of accidentally getting a kid shot and everything, so well done with the drama. Although it's a scenario we've seen a million times. Something bad happens to somebody while Peter's being Spider-Man, and of course he's gonna feel guilty about it. Of course he's gonna think it's his fault. Despite that annoying shtick that Peter has had for the past 50 fucking years, to me the drama style storytelling in here, it still worked. It still entertained me. It's not perfect because, like I just said, it's a shtick we've seen over and over and over and over again. But for the most part, it was really good. This issue was solid. Both the first and the second stories entertained me in the ways I needed to be entertained. Gave me a laugh and tugged on my heartstrings a little bit. So, a solid issue. If I had to recommend maybe one or two of the .1 through 5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, I would definitely recommend this and 700.3 and 4. The first two, I would read them. I don't know if I would buy them. That's just me. Batman the Dark Knight 26. Just read that book and you know why I did that. Moving on to Dynamite. Starting off Dynamite with the Green Hornet, issue number 6. And I just dropped the damn thing. I didn't drop it from my pull list. I literally just dropped it. Green Hornet, issue number 6. Mark Waid. Magic Mark Waid, making that magic work. Now, granted, I'm running behind. I am catching up. This is we're getting in this issue. We get to see more of what's going on with the sabotages and all these Chicago-based companies and everything. You know, Green Hornet. You know, Britt is doing some further investigating, while at the same time, one of the main focuses of this book is Britt going around in different parts of town and raising up his fear level. You know, getting more people to fear him. You know, it's kind of like Batman merged with Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. You know, it's like if you piss him off, he's going to fuck you up. And he'll flat out just tell you, does anybody else want to piss me off? He goes into a casino. you know, somebody's getting smart with him, and a guy, you know, tackles him out of respect for the Green Hornet. But then right after that, Britt rips off a roulette wheel and smacks the guy who interfered. He's like, do I look like I need anybody to back me up? I can handle this drunk all by myself. Now, who else wants to piss me off? It's just really good stuff. You know, espionage-style storytelling with a little bit of humor and really a little bit of drama in there. It is just really, really well told. Mark Waid kept my attention from beginning page to last page. Very good stuff. And one of those dun-dun-dun kinds of cliffhangers that, you know, is very fitting to a pulp-style story. And I loved it. It was great. I am so glad I'm getting caught up on this series. This was a fantastic issue. And that leads us into Green Hornet issue number 7, in which we picked up right where the issue 6 left off. You know, the Chicago bosses who are sabotaging their own companies, they put Green Hornet to the test. It's like, hey, you want our protection, or you want to sell us protection? You know, you gotta earn. Are you with us or against us, and all that kinds of stuff. So Britt finds a way to prevent from committing murder, but not to look like a fraud criminal, even though he is a fake criminal. But he finds a way to do it, and it logically made sense. I'm not going to spoil everything, but this was really good. The FBI declares him public enemy number 1, and him and Kato are actually thrilled about that. They're actually making comments like, hey, we did it. We're number 1. Yeah. And I loved it. And Britt even recruits another person in on the act. And I'm not going to spoil who that was. I'm not going to spoil how it happened. I'm not even going to, you know, that's all I'm going to say. And I loved it. It was great. Fantastic stuff. We get to see probably the main antagonist of this story. It's a Nazi with a weird, fucked up looking mask. Don't know what to think about him right now. I'm not completely sold on this guy because I've seen villains like this before, but it's a pulp story, and it's the Nazis, so yeah, let's go with it. I mean, it's not the best villain look. That's not the best looking villain I've ever seen, but for what it is, let's go with it. And it was good. Very good. Solid issue. And that leads us into Green Hornet issue number 8. Mark Magic Waid just working that magic some more. Yeah, this picks up right where issue 7 left off, but in the middle of the story we find Britt and Kato find out that somebody who's pretending to be the Green Hornet is going around bullying children and making children his slaves. And he's even separating them by race and everything, and he's just a real bastard. So Britt and Kato are taking a break from the situations that they're in right now to go help these kids. This is probably, in the first 8 issues of the series, this is probably the most heroic Britt has ever looked, you know, in terms of pure heroics. I mean, he goes out and he helps these kids, and he exposes the fake Green Hornet, and he actually gives them a very fitting punishment. Very fitting. I loved it. This was great. And I'm sure in issue 9 we're going to go back to the storyline that we were on. This was like a fill-in issue to, you know, kind of further build up the storyline that we're going through right now. And I really dug it. It was great. A true heroic moment for Britt Reed and for Kato. Just awesome stuff. And once issue 9 comes in, I will review that on my regular review show on my main channel. And now I'm officially caught up on Mark Waid's Green Hornet from Dynamite. This was solid. Loved it. I can't wait for issue 9. This is really good stuff. Now we're moving on to Valiant. Try to breeze through these as much as we can. We got Quantum and Woody, issue number 4. The world's worst superhero team. I love this stuff. This is the conclusion of the story involving all the clones and everything. This is just funny line after funny line after funny line. And in here, in this issue, for those of you who haven't been reading this and want to jump on board, oh my God, you need to do it. Because in here we get the arrival of the GOAT. The GOAT has officially debuted in this series. And it's just great. It's just great. And I love the name what he gives him. He calls him Vincent Van Gogh. I believe he calls him that in issue 5. But it's just like, Quantum releases all these animals, and he traces them back to the villain's lair, and he says, and I've released every one of your... And you just see the goat, he just goes, meh, and Quantum just like, ugh. But everybody's in fear. Oh my god, he let the goat loose. Everybody get back, it's loose. And it's just great. I fucking love this stuff. And the main villain of this story, the old crone, I believe some people call her. Oh my god, she goes out on a laugh. It's like one of her henchmen comes back and she's like cut up and like falling to pieces, literally. And she's like, do you have a rocket jetpack? And he's like, no, but I got a fax machine. And there's a bomb about to, her headquarters is about to explode. And it goes off, not with a kaboom, but it goes off when the explosion goes, fuck you! I love that shit. This is great. Quantum is trying to be your basic Boy Scout superhero, and Woody is your stock cliche, lazy-ass douchebag that doesn't care about anybody but himself. As much as a smug cliche he is, he's hilarious. They're both entertaining together. They don't bicker like they're brothers. They bicker like a goddamn married couple, and I love it. This is great. And I love this. Issue number 5 of Quantum and Woody. It says, an all-new arc. You must read Valiant. This is just good stuff. James Asmus and Ming Doyle. Jordy Belair. I'm sorry if I butched those names. But this is good. This is so good. It's like seeing more and more bickering between Quantum and Woody. It just won't get old for me. It really won't. And Quantum is like, he even says before he does it, as much as I'm going to regret this, I'm going to lend you my car. It's just fantastically awesome stuff. Both Quantum and Woody see these lights going off in the city, and Quantum thinks it's something's up, and he's gonna go be the hero and everything, and he accidentally breaks into a dance club, and he's like, is there any chance that this is an evil dance club? And he gets pepper sprayed, and of course he has to leave. And Woody comes across a similar situation, but he does incredibly stupid things. But what makes it funny is that at first he doesn't realize he's doing incredibly stupid stuff, but nor does he really fucking care, and that's what makes the character funny. Just all around, just humorous shit. But at the end, Quantum, not Woody, just Quantum, a certain someone has figured out all about him, and they make a proposal to him. He makes a proposal to Quantum saying, hey, I want you to be my superhero, or I'm going to expose you. And instead of acting and I was thinking Quantum was going to go, oh shit. At the last page, he actually goes, that sounds awesome. He's all for it. I'm like, what a fucking swerve. This is good stuff. And that leads us into Quantum and Woody issue number 6. This book is a total package book. Everyone is firing on all cylinders. It's just amazing, says Multiversity Comics. I couldn't agree more. It takes place right where the last issue left off. Quantum is telling Woody, after realizing that Woody lost his car in the last issue, and I swear, I will still state this, they act like a married couple. It's how much they bicker. It's like they live to piss each other off. It's like they live to just dig into each other's skin. It's just great. And, Quantum's like, hey, I got me a new gig. I'm going to be a hero, and he's gonna leave town, and he's going to do it. And Woody's, trying to talk him out of it, but then Woody does something I didn't think I'd see. He actually says something logical to Quantum. It's like, hey, remember, you need me to be around you because every 24 hours we have to clink our bracelets together, otherwise our powers are going to blow us up. And Quantum's like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. So Quantum runs to this guy called Magnum, who's the guy who's hiring him to be his personal superhero. And he's like, look, Woody's got to come with me, and, you know, all the explanations is going on. And this guy, Magnum, is your stock cliche religious ass who literally forces his religion on everybody. You know, and it's like you can't even go Jesus without him getting offended. Look, I'm not trying to disrespect people who are like that, okay? I'm not. I'm just saying I just find it a little offensive doing that kind of a character in comic books, because you have to talk about it and you have to criticize it. And when you criticize a character who does that stuff that some people do in real life, it comes across as that you're being disrespectful against it yourself, which I am not. I'm criticizing the character. I'm not criticizing the religious lifestyle, okay? But, yeah, it's just... Unfortunately, the goat isn't seen that much in here, which is sad, because I love the goat. Everybody loves the goat. I was waiting for the goat. Where was I? Quantum is on this base. They're telling, you know, everybody's being told it's like basically a new revolutionary or civil war is about to be started by these people that they're going up against, and Quantum's there on the base of the enemy that Magnum calls, of Magnum's enemies, and he realizes at the end of the book he's in deep shit. He figures, I'll just take my mask off and just go regular, and I'm assuming I'll just blend right on in. And I love the line at the last page because it was so dark yet hilarious. He's like, oh, I don't think you guys have any black people around here. And that's how the cliffhanger goes. Oh my God. Are you shitting me? This is great stuff. This is some of the funniest shit I've read in a long time. And it's done intentionally. And they know it. And it's entertaining. This is a perfect example of a series that reminds us. Sometimes, remember, just like DC's Harley Quinn series, sometimes comic books just need to be fun. This is a great example of that. And I'll be reviewing issue 7 on my next main channel comic book review once I get that up. Apologize for the jump cut. Battery's running low. We're moving on to Marvel with the Superior Spider-Man Annual #1. Christos Gage, Mr. Rodriguez, or as I should call it, give me $5. That's basically what this was. I paid $5 to read something I already know. Ock is a dick. He's an egomaniacal dick. And he's a villain. I paid $5 to be reminded of that. Long story short, Blackout returns. He kidnaps Aunt May. And Ock has to go save her. It's your stereotypical damsel in distress story with a little pinch of don't fuck with me in it. That is literally all this was. Of course, Ock saves Aunt May, and at the end of the book, people are now in fear of Peter Parker because of his connection to Spider-Man. $5 for this? Give me a fucking break. This was not worth $5. This was a $5 piece of shit. It was. We're ending with the Wolverine and the X-Men Annual #1. Jason Aaron, Nick Bradshaw do this. This was really good. This focuses... It is a tie-in to Infinity, but it's just making references to Infinity. This was a story basically about Kid Gladiator. And I think any fan of that character is really going to like this. They are really going to dig it. I think it's a good story. Very nicely told. You never get to... Kid Gladiator gives his opinions on what he thinks about the Shi'ar school that he's at, and comparing it to the Jean Grey school. You hear his opinions, but when you read what he's thinking, it's a little different, and I like that. You know, he still worships his father. He wants to be like his father. You know, and it's basically an intergalactic space battling father-son style storytelling with an educational moral, I guess. I mean, it's just a standard one and done story involving Kid Gladiator taking the main focus of it, and it was just simply fun. I don't know how else to describe this annual. It was fun, but $5 for just a little bit of fun? I don't. Now, I've said it before. Comic books should be fun a lot. They should be fun. You should have fun reading them. But was this worth $5? In my opinion, no, it wasn't. I would have been fine with a $3.99 price tag, or maybe even a $2.99 price tag. But knowing Marvel, they would have charged $3.99 as the regular price. I wouldn't justify a $5 payment for this. I really wouldn't. It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good, but $5? Nah. I don't agree with the price. Well, that's all I got for this back issue review, everybody. I want to thank you all for watching. I am officially caught up, so be ready for some more Quantum and Woody and Green Hornet reviews in my comic book reviews from now on. Please subscribe to this channel, blugoblinX. Don't forget about my main channel, Blugoblin01. Follow me on Twitter, at Blugoblin01. Go follow me on Tumblr, blugoblin.tumblr.com, or you can follow me on Pinterest. I'll put the links in the description if I have to, if I remember to. Shout out to everybody at Dark Adventure Inc. Plus, including my bro, the Mount Vernon Kid, J.L. Gould, Mark and Chloe at Fast Stack of Comics, my old buddies Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex, to my family up there at Arkham Comics, and of course to my girlfriend Jennifer. Love you, baby. And I promise Jennifer and I will try to get caught up on Arkham Asylum Studio, so don't give up on that channel. We're going to get back to work on that as soon as we can. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And until next time, as always, I'll see you all later.